But first, on to our video diary with our resident nature watcher, Rob Weaver, who's been in search of some feathered friends. Oh, can I get out now?
Now I've set myself a personal challenge to try and get as close as I can and observe in their natural habitat some of the UK's best known corvid species. Now corvids generally comprise of magpies, crows and ravens in order of general size, but there are a couple of lesser known species that I'm also hoping to see. Well, jays are certainly one of my favourite woodland birds. Jays sometimes get a bad reputation, being members of the crow family, for stealing other birds' eggs, which they do. But I think in the whole scheme of things, the woods would be a much duller place without them. Now that's what we've been looking for. This jay has got an acorn in his beak. And I think he's going to bury it. He's just moving it into his crop. Yep, he's burying that now under some leaves, and you can see he's covering the acorn with the leaves. It doesn't need to be very deep. As long as it's out of sight, then amazingly, he'll remember where he's buried that one and come back for it later. If you see a small group of jaunty-looking corvids on pasture land or following sheep like this, they're more than likely to be jackdaws. Jackdaws are a small corvid about the size of a collared dove, and they're easily recognisable by their blue eyes and grey head. Now jackdaws, like most corvids, are incredibly loyal. They'll often mate for life. And also, again, like most corvids, they won't breed until they're 2 or 3 years old. And one of the reasons for that is because they won't be able to hold a territory or win a mate until they're old enough to prove they've got what it takes. But there's another species of magnificent corvid that absolutely dwarfs these jackdaws. The raven can weigh up to 1.5 kilograms and have a 1 metre wingspan. The fantastic thing about seeing ravens here in the Cotswolds means that they're slowly starting to spread across southeasterly from their strongholds in Wales and more northern parts of the UK. Look at that! The raven's just tweaked the buzzard's tail. That's amazing. What a cheek. Move over, I'm here. Now, it's situations like this that show just how wily a magpie's likely to be. This one's dropped down to feed on a kill that a buzzard's having a go at. He's not at all bothered by a bird 3 times his size. He's determined to get in there and steal a couple of mouthfuls. Just look how he's leaning right over in case he does need to make a sharp exit. Magpies are so cheeky, they're almost arrogant. But you can't help but admire them for that. Well, I've come here to Pembrokeshire Coast National Park to further my search for UK corvids. And the corvid I'm looking for is particularly rare in the UK, and it's these wild and rugged coastline environments that it really thrives in. Well, the corvid I'm looking for is the red-billed chough. Now, choughs are once common around the coastlines of the UK, but here in Pembrokeshire, in parts of Cornwall, are 2 of the last remaining strongholds for this bird. And the reason for that is a decline in this sort of habitat, which the choughs really do require. They need this very short pasture land for the insect larvae that they feed on, and the cliff edges here for breeding. But without the 2 factors, the choughs can't successfully breed. Now, choughs are also aerial masters. They love flying around. And like a raven, they'll quite often fly upside down. It's amazing just to watch them. Well, seeing these choughs in Pembrokeshire has brought me to the end of my corvid diary. And although there are obvious similarities between the different species, there are certainly distinct differences that make them all so unique.